These were put out yesterday, premium analysis. So we saw DXY starting to drop. And we saw AU starting to go long, right? It had broken here, and then it just kept going. We jump over the chart. This is what happened. I put that analysis out right on this candle, on this 1 hour, and it just kind of took off over the next few hours up until now. Absolutely skyrocketed. So yeah, looking pretty nuts. But we're going to get to that in a second. We're going to do a full top down on it. We'll work our way down and do a new analysis basically. So for now, we're going to start off with DXY, which is the US dollar index. Pretty much just showing you on this chart. We don't trade it. It just shows you the strength of the dollar. And we like to analyze this because, as you guys know, the US dollar makes up for a very large percentage of the Forex market. It makes up for 80% of all trade. It's a reserve currency. So it makes sense to kind of analyze it, draw up some analysis and see what could potentially be happening with DXY so we can better trade our majors and so on. All right, so here we are. Let's just go to the daily time frame to start. I just want to introduce you guys to the overall trend, and then we're going to work our way down time frames and start identifying trade setups. So overall, we've been very bearish for quite a while. Since all the way back here, we've been confirmed bearish on the weekly time frame, right? Weekly break of structure. We are now bearish. We're getting lower lows, lower highs, and price action tried to pull back after we hit this monthly, formed a little daily resistance level, and then continued forming lower lows and lower highs. So with this overall trend in mind, we are looking to continue, with the overall trend. We're trying to continue bearish, trying to look for that next leg to the downside. So what needs to happen for us to get there? What do we need to see? We can now drop to the 4 hour and kind of, start marking up fibs, marking up trade ideas. So here was that last bearish leg right here, right off 92.6. We got massive rejection, nice lower high, and then this huge bearish leg formed, push us through our monthly until we found some support down here after a little double bottom around 90.5. So after that, that's back and a flag. Rule of thumb for us when we're using fibs, we want to see the 38.2 minimum or the 61.8. In this scenario, we already hit the 38.2 with an MA pullback, so we can assume structure is properly formed here, right? Now, it still can pop up, but we first want to see 38.2 hit at least, and it has. So from here, we're just looking for a transition. So essentially a lower time frame higher low, or a significant support level in this bit of structure here. And I've actually gone ahead and highlighted that for you guys, this blue line. So this is what I'm waiting for. Even though this is showing indecision, yes, it hit structure. I'm not just going to entry. I still need a few more confirmations. So I want to see some bearish engulfings. I want to see strong MA cross, some conviction candles, lack of exhaustion, things like that. And then one of those things are a transition like this. So break of a higher low or significant support. This level right here, again, 90.7. If I see a lower high below 90.7, that would then, in my mind, say, okay, this thing is going short. We have the conviction. We saw all the confirmations, and this thing is pushing for its next bearish leg. Okay, so I think this is very likely to happen. This right here, just a little drop lower. Good bearish candles. Nice little retest, lower high. Boom, we're targeting lower. Right? And then DXY is further dropping. All right, so that's definitely the bearish scenario for now. And technically, this can still remain bearish as it remains below this monthly, right? So just be aware of that. I mean, this thing could do this transition here. It could pull back to the 61.8 and then give us the transition, something like that, right? So just be aware. Wait for the confirmation. We're not forcing it. We're just trying to follow DXY and see how it performs for us this week.
What is this,
right?
DXY? Dude, this thing is so deceiving.
It's just steamrolling here. I mean, this is one hell of a pullback. It's just a little flag, but I mean, we'll see. It has been pretty choppy. Look at all these wicks. I mean, we're on the 4 hour, guys, so this is a lot of indecision right here. This is chop, chop, chop. So we really got to wait. We're going to be careful. But also notice how, remember I just started off with AU and we saw that huge rally on AU. That came from this drop. Right? All this bearish movement on DXY, it's inverse relationship with AU. So we saw AU spike on this drop here, but notice how small this pullback, this drop here is, and then how big the rally was on AU. So, it's definitely kind of like distorting this. Like AU was ready to pop essentially. And it just needed a little bit of momentum or conviction to get it there. And that was this drop on DXY. So very interesting to see it react with each other. So, I mean, this is DXY, guys. We just got to wait on this one to play out, but we are overall very, very bearish on this. And then if we were to consider long scenarios, again, you really just want to see price action get back above this monthly zone, right? So something like this. It's got a lot to prove, and it's a long way away. But this is essentially what you'd want to see for us to be bullish on the dollar again. Something like this. Just some sort of major break of resistance back into a range or, you know, structure of some kind. So like that. Okay. But until we see a huge break like that, we're just looking for, you know, bearish continuations. All right, that's DXY. Let's move on to AU. First pair. Yeah, this one just took off. So daily time frame to start, guys. Overall, just want to look at the trend, sentiment. We were bearish for a while. Corona hit. Then we hit, this is Corona here, this huge spike. Found support down at our monthly. Then we had a huge correction. And the correction never stopped. It just gained momentum and just pushed right through resistance. That gave us our weekly break. So once we got price action above this monthly zone, that was our weekly change of trend. So we're now bullish. Formed an ascending channel, pulled back the test structure, gave us a double bottom, reversed, and then on some election news, broke through this daily lower high, changing the daily trend as well. So bullish on the weekly, the daily, 4 hour, every time frame pretty much. Very, very bullish. So what we're going to do now is drop down to the 4 hour, take a look at this price action here, and come up with some trade scenarios and see where price action could be headed. All right, so 4 hour time frame to start. Okay, this was that double bottom we just talked about after price action came back to retest broken structure. Then we had the elections, which was this rally here, breaking through the daily. And now we have an ascending channel, right? Very clear ascending channel, higher highs, higher lows, pretty straightforward. And then last night, I put out the analysis for this, right? I saw that we broke resistance, we're forming good structure, it pushed up, formed a flag, even kind of ripsawed here to hit 61.8, which is fine. But, you know, I saw this for what it was, and this was essentially a flag, very clear flagpole, 2 false breakouts. So just ignore that, ignore all that crap, and then you'll see the flag, right? So after that, you know, I started looking for a breakout, and then the breakout happened right at this area, and then it took off to a new high. So let's go ahead and just clear this up. Because now what do we do, right? So we want to draw a new trade scenario. So we have structure here. That means price action could pull back to here to test structure, right? This broken resistance. Possible. But first we want to refib. So what I want to do from here is this. Okay, assuming this is the high, let's say it's the absolute high. We're literally looking for structure to form. Not that complicated in this scenario. There's just so much momentum here. We're looking to just continue with that. So when there's this much volume, this much momentum, you know, a good pullback, a good correction is not unlikely. So we're just going to keep applying our rules, wait to enter after structure forms, 38.2, 61.8. So this is ideally what it would look like. Anywhere in here is a good confluence area to take a long at if we see the opportunity. C35. Okay. So that's what we're looking for right now. Nice little AU long. Just need to see a pullback. Again, after a huge move, guys, you know, we're not looking to buy at this point. You know, and I'm not really interested in selling either because it'd be more against the trend, and there's no confirmation. So yeah, just gotta be patient, wait on this one to play out. All right, especially after a large move. So yeah, that's the long opportunity now. We are overall very bullish. Nothing here is really saying, you know, get ready to short. We haven't seen any break of support in a very long time. So yeah, so we're going to stay with this long opportunity. However, let's go over what we need to see for us to then consider bearish scenarios. Ideally, I want to see some sort of lower high. Even here is not the best area. But, I mean, ideally, some sort of lower high below 0.74. And then, of course, below 0.73 would be even better. So just want to see some major transition to the downside with some, you know, bearish conviction, bearish confirmation for us to really change our sentiment. But yeah, until that happens, we're looking long as hell on this. AU's been paying out, man. Very, very good structure, easy to follow pair. Definitely recommend it for those of you that don't analyze it and trade it yet. So check out AU, guys. So next we have AJ. Looking pretty similar to AU, you know, as we know, somewhat correlated. The trend is usually spot on though. So let's go ahead and just zoom out, get the overall sentiment in mind. We were bearish for a while. Corona hit, went super bearish, found support at our monthly at 63 flat, pulled back with a very large correction right into our monthly zone at our where our prior lower high was. And then just it kind of formed like this flat ascending channel. Like this is clearly an ascending channel, right? We have higher lows, we have higher highs, sure. But it's not the most dramatic. It's a very wide channel, and it's not really covering that much ground. We're really just bouncing against this monthly and the 74 flat support level. So at least it was for a while, right? So still ascending, sure. We'll play that with the trend. You know, we're looking for longs in this scenario now. But once we highlighted this channel, you know, we did want to look for buy opportunities, but we didn't want to take an entry when we're sitting at key resistance, right? So ideally, you want to see a major break of resistance or 76.5, and that's what we're seeing happen right now. We're getting some slow, it's not the strongest trend, but we're getting a lot of consolidation and a nice little burst of price action. So you can see here, consolidation, burst of price action, consolidation, burst of price action. And that's good because we're getting steady movement through a key resistance, which means we're kind of absorbing sellers. This is a good thing, right? So we're getting ready to take our potential next long scenario into the top of this channel. So once we've cleared this monthly, which we just have now, you know, we can comfortably start looking at other long scenarios. So we're going to drop down to the 4 hour, get a closer look at this recent break, and come up with some trade scenarios, right? So let's zoom in here. Okay, we fibbed from low to the high. And hold on 1 second, let me just make sure these fibs are right. Yep. Okay, so this thing has not formed structure yet since we've started this rally all the way back here, right? So this was the conviction off the 200 EMA, started rallying, hasn't formed structure since. So even though we're getting very clear consolidation plus a push, consolidation plus a push, hasn't formed structure. So this is what we're looking for right now. Either this is going to continue to rally, either it's going to continue to rally and you're just going to have to extend your fibs until it starts pulling back. But essentially, look, if it did pull back here, let's go over a hypothetical scenario. This is going to change. You know, you're going to draw your fibs as this continues to rally. It's going to differ too much. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. We're looking for some sort of pullback to the 38.2 with a strong reversal. Let me just see something. So price action could, so if price action did rally all the way up to here, close to 79, and then come back, our 38.2 is at this support level. So that would make a lot of sense too, right? And that's still valid. So price action could push all the way up to the 79 handle, and this trade still be valid. We're just looking to play off the 38.2 as it remains above this monthly. Okay, so this could be a pretty good trade. I want these fibs back down though. There we go. I'll do this for now. Okay, so yeah, just looking for some sort of structure entry on AJ. Looking to ride this trend into 79 flat. All right, so let's go over, let's say this fails. Let's say this bullish trend fails. We start seeing major transitions. The bears step in and we start seeing these giant, you know, bearish candles. What needs to happen for us to comfortably take a short position? Simply, that's a lower high below 76.5 and this 200 EMA. If we saw this happen, this would be a great short opportunity. Enter on a nice bearish engulfing MA cross, something like that, after a lower high, and then target lower. This would be a great trade. Really good stuff. But yeah, we're definitely favoring long positions on AJ for now. All right, so that's AJ. Let's move on to our next pair, which is UJ. UJ looks to be playing out a lot of rejection. All right, so let's start on the daily time frame. Overall, we know UJ is bearish. It has been for a while. I just want to bring this pattern to your attention. This giant descending triangle, key supports at 104.5. Okay, keep that in mind. It's a very key level. All right, so let's drop to the 4 hour. Get a closer look at this price action that's kind of dancing around that 104.5 support level, and you know, kind of printing some indecision candles. So let's go to the 4 hour now. All right, zoom in here. Lots of lower lows, lower highs, guys. Clearly bearish, right? There's no contesting that. Very bearish. All right, more lower highs. It's taking forever to zoom. All right. Okay, so here's current price action going a bit sideways, right? We're finding major support right around 103, 103.75. Key resistance up here around 104.5, 104.75. So Not ideal for a level this significant. However, we did just recently break it, so we're really just waiting for the next signal to, you know, enter short on, to be honest. I mean, we did get this massive rejection from 1045, 200 EMA. We got the double top. This is all supporting a bearish setup, right? Then we got a lower time frame transition here, break of 1042, rejection again, right? Nice bearish rejection candles. And then it didn't push lower. So we pulled back, we pushed through support, we broke it, we retested, got the MA cross, but it didn't have the conviction to drop, even after this big engulfing. So we're still waiting for it, essentially. And where we're at now is, look at all these indecision candles. We're kind of just sitting at 1042, waiting for that next burst of momentum, to be honest. And let me just adjust a couple things here. I want to get rid of, there we go. And we'll extend this. Okay, so 104 flat. We're waiting for a break of that, or maybe even if we're lucky, a quick little break and retest to go short on. Boom, boom, and then we're short. There we go. Okay, so this is what we're looking at first on UJ, expecting this to happen before anything else, because again, we're just trying to ride the trend. And this is pretty straightforward. I mean, this is, your stop loss would actually be a little bit higher. Just about 2 to 1. Just about 2 to 1. Depending on where this executes, your stop loss could be a little lower. You could even push it a little over 3 to 1. So yeah, great trade, guys. Looking to get down towards our negative 27 fib level at 103.36. And then, of course, we'll look to play it lower down towards our 103 flat handle. Okay, to gain just shy of 100 pips. So yeah, this could be a nice little short opportunity, nice little bearish leg on UJ we could capture. So looking good, looking good. All right, so next, or rather here, let me go over a long scenario on UJ real quick. What do we need to see happen for us to change our sentiment? Essentially, it's a break of this zone right here, 104.8, right? I want to see a higher low above that. I want to get above these double tops. It's not really the zone you want to be taking long opportunities in, right? You really want to see this area break first.
Me and Brian were looking at this last night, and this thing is just bearish, but at the same time, it could pop up back into that 200-day, which would be the best case scenario to short.
Right near the 61.8. So yes, again, yeah. Great example, Angelo. So let me bring this up too. So we have this potential scenario off the 38.2, and what Angelo just did is pretty much identify our other rule, right? Look for shorts off the 61.8, or look for entries off the 61.8, which lines up with where these other two highs have been. So look what happens if this is very much valid. This is still very much bearish, still a valid trade all the way up to the 61.8 and 104.5. Honestly, any sort of lower high below 104.5 with the right, confirmations could be a good entry. So this is very, very possible as well. 200 EMA, 104.5, 61.8. Look at all that confluence, guys. And then once the MAs get there as well, there's just tons and tons of influence in this area. Good spot, Angela. Good spot. He looks. All right, so that's UJ, guys. Not bad at all.
That's the move. Yeah, Brian, that's the move.
That's the move right there. Call it the Brian special, right? Yeah. But yeah, no, this thing has been holding like crazy. It's it needs to make a move. It really does. All right, so next I'm going to cover EJ. Daily time frame to start, guys. Very bullish recently, but we were very bearish for quite a while in this very large bearish channel. We had our transition here, which was a weekly break of structure. That turned us to a bullish trend. And then after that, we saw a huge rally into our monthly resistance at 126.5. Following that, we got a bearish channel. Following that, a break of the channel, and then another rally back into our monthly at 126.5. So this thing has kind of just been all over the place. But one thing is for sure, EJ has a shitload of volume once it starts to run. This thing kind of just takes off. So let's drop to the 4-hour. Get a closer look at this price action right here at this monthly and see if we can't come up with some trade scenarios for you guys. All right, so here's that recent rally, break of that channel, gave us a higher low and then took off, right? Maybe even a little inverse head and shoulders here potentially. Either way, rallied all the way up to this monthly, and now we're looking at a flag pattern. Clearly, this hasn't formed structure, right? This thing just went straight up, hasn't pulled back yet. This could pretty much be that pullback right now. Flag pattern is a continuation pattern, so this is a good sign to see. We really just want to see this kind of continue to develop, make its way down towards 38.2, present a reversal that we could enter on, and then we're long, guys. And then we're long, and then we're just riding the momentum on EJ here. And this could be a really nice trade. We'll target back into the monthly, and then reanalyze from there once that happens. All right, but again, same is true with this pair. We could see it pull back to 61.8 and still be bullish, right? So it all just depends on where you see the right confirmations. But yeah, either of these could be very valid, right? So it could even come back to 78.6, not ideally, but it still could come back to 78.6, test broken structure, test support, and then go bullish again. All right, so that's those are those long scenarios. What needs to happen for us to go short on EJ? You need to see a massive, massive break of this zone right here and this 200 EMA. Looking for a lower high. And then we're short. Okay, but yeah, this is looking pretty, this is promising on EJ right now. I really like how this is forming, and could be a really nice playoff structure here. So that's EJ, guys. Let's move on to, I started doing CAD JPY too, but I'll just run through gold and CAD. We'll do CAD first, then I'll finish on gold. Screw it. All right, so I actually added one to the arsenal, guys. CAD JPY. Let's just do an overall trend analysis on the daily. Overall, very bearish here on the daily time frame. Right, we've recently moved through major support at monthly, huge tank to the downside, towards major support around 74.5. Consolidated for a bit and then pulled back. This is all Corona related. And then we've been kind of going sideways since. Huge, huge range between this monthly and this daily. Daily being 78.5. The monthly resistance being 82 flat. Okay, so you guys can just see it's going sideways. Bouncing, 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 bouncing. And good thing here is there are actually trade opportunities in this. Because this is such a large range, there are opportunities and sell opportunities, honestly, off this resistance. So let's go ahead and drop time frames, get a closer look at what's going on right here. All right, so also mind you, daily break of structure once this was broken back here. So we are bullish on the daily, bearish on the weekly. Just keep that in mind. All right, so let's drop to the 4 hour. The 4 hour is also bullish. Right, we had this huge rally here, break of these lower highs. We got some higher low action, and then we formed this nice ascending channel. So this is what I want to bring your attention to. This has been so clean lately, this channel. Lots and lots of opportunities, super, super basic entries, just like breaking resistance, coming back, forming a higher low, right? You guys can just see how easily this is identifiable, right? So key resistance, finally breaks it, tested as support, moves higher, and so on and so on. So looking pretty good. So where we are now is in this ascending channel, right? So we drew fibs on it, the conviction candle to the high. We can actually jump to the 1 hour on this one, it's probably better. Okay, conviction candle from the low to the high. Excuse me, price action came back to 38.2 and then started giving us some bullish setups. So nice bullish variation here. This actually probably could have been an entry. You could have taken this entry right on one of these, on this candle here, or on this little engulfing. That's actually where I took this one, on that little engulfing candle. And then we're playing it towards the negative 27. Stop loss just outside this higher low. But if you guys aren't in this trade, I'm going to go ahead and draw up what needs to happen for you to get in on it. Essentially, I mean, you could take an aggressive entry of this, but ideally you want to wait for a pullback again. Let's see if this makes sense here. So yeah, essentially like this, right? Break of resistance, now it's testing with a higher low. Got the MA cross, now we're testing the MAs. So, I mean, we really got to wait for conservative entry. I would say just wait for 38.2 to be hit again. Okay, if you already missed this entry, it's already out. Wait for it to pull back, or take a super small risk, super small percentage on this trade here. Right, nice little morning star action, recent break, more of a lower time frame trade, probably a 30-minute. But yeah, this is a nice little long. I mean, I like CAD JPY. It forms structure pretty easily, pretty easy to see. And once it goes, it really starts moving with good momentum. So this is what we're looking at now. We could even see this pull back to like this area. Okay, but I'm definitely stalking this 38.2 area. So we'll see how this goes. That's CAD-JPY, guys. Interesting one for the session this morning. But I'm gonna wrap up with gold here. Daily time frame, as you guys know, overall been very, very bullish on gold. Yeah, it's actually been insane. So once we broke, I just want to bring you to more recent price action. Most notable milestone here was this 1800 break, then quick rally to 2070. Then we got the pullback, the slow pullback on gold here. Nice ascending triangle. Then we got our daily break of structure. We ranged for a little while, finally broke, and then went to test 1800 again. And then it reversed pretty quickly off that level as expected. And now is pulling back to, again, test structure at 1875. So let's drop to the 4 hour and just kind of zone in here on gold. So I had this marked up from the other day. Let's go ahead and clear this up. Clear that up. Move this over. Okay. Almost there. All right, cool. All right, so this thing pulled back to 100%, guys, as you can see. Still bearish overall. So, we're just going to draw up the bearish trade scenario just to kind of fit our role, stay with the overall trend until we see this 1875 handle break. So essentially, this is what we want to see, right? Some sort of MA pullback or MA cross. You could even get a nice little head and shoulders here if you guys can spot that already. Might be able to get something like this. This would be the right shoulder. This would be the left shoulder. This would be the head. Could see a nice little setup on this play out, okay? So on that, you would look to enter on the right shoulder on some sort of MA cross or, bearish variation closing below this 1826 handle right here, right where this blue line is. Okay, that'd be then the neckline. So that would be a phenomenal entry, right? Looking to short on that. However, if we do get a break of 1875, some sort of higher low above, we are then, bullish on the 4 hour. It's then a clear 4 hour break of structure, and we're now headed towards our daily, which is the top of this range up closer to 1930. All right, so here we are. Here we are, guys. That's gold. Definitely at a key zone. So just see how it reacts to 1875. So that's all I prepared for you guys today. Quick recap. Covered DXY, covered AU, covered AJ. Look how similar those two are. AU, AJ, UJ, EJ, CAD, JPY, and gold. Look at all the JPY pairs, man. Every JPY pair you need, I got you.
The JPY blog out here.
Yeah. So I want to pass it off to Angelo. Thank you, guys. And yeah, he's going to cover some more majors.
Oh, yeah. All right, so I'll go ahead and share up. If you guys have not, or we didn't even announce it yet, but we're going to do a giveaway today. So if you want in on the giveaway, just post your Discord name in the chat. We'll randomly just pick a winner after this. There are some questions in the chat. I don't know if you want to maybe answer them because I think they were related to your analysis here.
Yeah, let me take a look.
Take a look.
That's the move right there. When looking monthly all the way down to similar time frames, are you short-term trading or short? Okay, so it's going to depend on your style. Me personally, I'm a swing trader, so I'll hold a trade anywhere from like 4 hours to 2 days. But it depends on the pair. It depends on what trade you're going for. Obviously a trade where you're going for 200 pips is going to take longer than a trade you're looking for 20 pips. So it does vary though. Okay, how long do you trade? I think that might be the same question, how long I hold a trade. But, I mean, if you mean how long I trade, I'm looking at charts all day. But, yeah, Angela, you can get started.
All right, cool. All right, so, yeah, make sure you guys throw your Discord name in the chat so you could have a chance at the giveaway. We'll do 25 bucks. You should see my screen now. I'm going to go ahead and get over to the charts. We'll do a little recap of DXY. pop in here. So DXY is definitely going sideways at the moment. Even have this little support level here. So let's bump up to the higher time frame. So guys, on the higher time frame right here, the idea is to always be at lower high points, at least in a downtrend. As you can see here, we are extremely overextended. So we're just at a low. We're at a low. We've got our weekly and monthly levels placed here. The level that we're currently testing, if we look left, there was definitely some resistance here. It's not a key level as we have placed below. But at the same time, just look how overextended it is. Could this continue to head lower and lower? Sure, it certainly could. It is overall very bearish. But as we bump down daily time frame, let's just start to look at price action here. So we have 4 days ago, we had this candle close, large wick to the downside, so showing seller's exhaustion. Then we had doji, low volume bullish candle. And then now we're starting to get, right on the moving averages. As you can see, this thing has just respected the shit out of the moving averages over and over and over again.
Yep.
So, this thing is certainly bearish on the daily down to the 4 hour. This is where it starts to get a little bit interesting. It's pulling back at the moment. It's very similar to these areas where it's pulled back, moving averages have crossed, pulled back, moving averages have crossed. But overall, it is bearish. Overall, it is extremely bearish, still on this 4 hour time frame. So bearish that we can't even really see structure on this. The previous point of structure on this really is all the way up here. This is our 4 hour structure. So this being said, we want to get down to like a time frame where we can see things. We could just see some levels. We can see things a little bit clearer. As we bump down to this 1 hour time frame, we could basically see we've got this lower low, lower high right here, this lower low, lower high right here, lower low. Then we swung up, made this lower high. So let's just fib this 1 hour time frame. So we came up, hit that 61.8 level on the fibs, came up, hit around this 50% level. So I'm just going to mark this. So according to structure right now, guys, the DXY is just certainly very bearish. Still very bearish until we get, at the minimum, a break above this 1 hour level. And I'm going to be hypocritical in a minute because I'm about to look at EU and I'm short on it. But until we get above this level, this is according to price action, according to how we draw structure, it is bearish on the 1 hour and every time frame above there until we start to get above this level. That would show a lot of more bullish momentum than we have at the moment right now. So that's the idea with DXY, bearish really below this 1 hour. Once that breaks, we'll see what happens. If it breaks below this support level, then I do not want to be, in a USD trade. This thing will just have a lot of momentum to continue to push lower and lower. So that being said, let's take a look at EU. This thing has been fucking around, and I did an analysis last night on this, and I'm just going to go through what I was thinking. So on the monthly, we are breaking the 200-day. So this candle obviously surged above this 200-day moving average. We're not near our key level, our monthly key level here. So we're sort of just in the middle of our two key levels, which means this could certainly continue to push, up into this area, or it could find some rejection and come back down to this 200-day moving average. But let's just let price action be the judge here. So on the weekly time frame, again, all the way up at this high point right now. Last week closed with this wick. So some buyers exhaustion, not too many or not too much. Let's get down to the daily. All right, so on the daily, we started to see, at least going into this week, why I tried to short this was we started to see this tweezer top right here. So the wicks are the same height. We didn't engulf, but this is still a bearish variation candle. Then we saw Monday's or Sunday's price action close with this sort of like a spinning top candle. So that wasn't the best closure there. And then we had this like doji candle, just very low volume yesterday. And then today we're getting some bullish volume. We're rejecting, we pushed higher. We started to reject these highs again down to the 4 hour. 4 hour, we crossed the moving averages. So we're red over blue. Last night pushed up above them, and then now we're rejecting again, potentially back below. So let's just hit the 30-minute. And this is where I'm basically basing my current like trade on. So 30-minute time frame, we had that 4-hour tweezer top. So this is that double top here. So we tested this level twice, pushed down, broke this minor level here and pulled back. This was kind of like the first trade opportunity was like right here. But I was waiting on the 1 hour for this level to break. So then that broke, we pulled back up. We had the entry right after this. So we had this large wick on the higher time frames. On the lower time frame, this is what it looks like. We had the bearish engulfing right below the moving averages. So we had momentum there. And then we just threw stops above this lower high right there. And then we pushed a little bit downward, pulled back up, had all this like bearish price action here. So we formed this resistance level. So this is structure right here. So last night I was on a call and I was saying that until this level breaks, you know, on the 30-minute, even on the 1 hour right here, till this level breaks, I am going to stay in this trade. This is the level of structure. As you can see, we popped above here. We had this bullish candle close above, and then this bearish engulfing. So what this told me was that above this level, even though this this did break above this area, you know, for myself, I was assuming the risk here for sure. But this bearish engulfing told me that there were sellers once price reached the level, this level above here. So I wanted to stay in this trade. There was a bearish engulfing, nice selling signal. And then we had another bearish engulfing here. So I'm currently maintaining this trade. Now, if we find support again at this level, we pop back up here. If I start to get uncomfortable with this trade just bouncing up and down, breaking this level again, testing these highs again, I can very easily just close this trade, 0.5% loss, you know, it's not a big deal, and manage the trade accordingly. Or if I'm still confident and if I'm still feeling good about how price action is forming on the 1 hour, then I can maintain this trade with my original stop loss, you know, all the way up here. I certainly can reduce my stop loss at this time and move it even to this level, because if we break above here, we don't want to be in the trade. So I could do that as well. So a few different ways to maintain the trade right now, but EU, I am still short on this, looking for this to push to the downside. The reason why I started to get weary of it is because we shorted this on Monday and it just consolidated for a whole day, you know, so it's consolidating for a whole day. Now it's a day and a half, which does not bode well. You know, it does not bode well. But I'm going to stay in it. I'm going to use this resistance level. And that's the idea with EU. So still looking for this to push down. Let's bump over to NU. This is the same thing with EU. So with NU, we had, let's start all the way up on the monthly time frame here. I like just bought a mouse, so I'm trying to get used to it on the Mac, but I just think the trackpad's better. Let's see.
Yeah, you spent too much time on the trackpad.
I'm a trackpad guy.
Yeah.
Someone had a question. With a question, how long do you trade Forex? I mean, how many experience do you have? So, Nick, how long have you been trading Forex?
I think I'm coming up on 7 years, to be honest.
Yeah, so Nick's been trading a long time. I've been trading about 3 years, 2 years, 3 years. So quite a bit of experience between the two of us. Thanks for asking the question, Fran. If any of y'all have questions during the session, feel free, you know, post in the chat. We could always pause and go over anything you'd like. Trading.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm 3 years old and I've been trading since I was born.
He's a phenom, guys. It's a rare.
All right, so let's take a look at NU. So monthly time frame, guys. Again, top down. We have these highs. So previously, we have these highs right here. I have my weekly level placed right here. I could even change this so we can actually see it right there. We can move this down a bit. So this is a previous lower high on this weekly time frame. When price comes up into this level, we want to sell. Like this is a selling zone right up here, but we're not there yet. I'm going to take this off. We're not there yet. We have not reached that level quite yet. You know, we last month closed bullish. Now we're floating, you know, pushing up a little bit higher. So the momentum certainly right now is bullish. As we come down to the weekly, basically last week we had this doji at the top of this push. So I was thinking that early this week we could see some downward movement. Now, let's go over. We took a trade earlier this week. Daily, still very bullish. Look how bullish this is, above the moving averages. We had this bearish engulfing here. That's what I was zoning in on. But at the same time, we don't have many confirmations right now. My only confirmation on this trade, and the reason why inevitably this trade went against me, is because we don't have multiple confirmations. On the daily, all I have is this bearish engulfing. Everything's bullish. 4-hour time frame, all I have is this is just a retracement, but this isn't a strong reason or indicator to get it on the trade. And then those were my higher time frame confirmations, which again are not really like sound. Like they're not really according to the rules, like how well I could or how close to the rules I could be trading. And then as it came to the 1 hour, things started look nice. 1 hour time frame, we were in an uptrend right here. We had this higher low. We broke this higher low right here, pulled back, had this lower high, had this lower high. So without the higher time frame confirmations, and I just wanted this to be a lesson to you guys, this looked great. This lined up according to our rules on the lower time frames for entries. This was a solid entry, but we didn't have the confirmation on the higher time frame. We didn't have that level, whether it was a fib or whether it was a resistance level or whatever. The confirmations were too few on the higher time frame, and this thing ended up pushing against us, which is completely okay. But this is just the process that you got to go through. If a trade goes against you, think about why. Don't just be mad and leave. Like think about why the trade goes against you, so the next position you get in, you can improve and you don't just become more and more frustrated when you're taking this similar position and it's not working. So lessons to be learned in all of this. Now today, let's look at NU. Very similar to AU. This thing is pushing higher. If anything on this 4-hour time frame, like I said in the beginning, this thing could push up into this selling zone all the way up here. Look at the 4-hour. The 4-hour looks very similar to this right here. So this pushed up, and then we had this trend stayed consistent all the way up into the area we're in now. This is really what we want to see on the 4-hour time frame before we drop to a lower time frame. We want to see a nice pullback, ideally to 38.2, but if not, it's not the end of the world. Nice pullback, moving averages cross right here. And then we want to see momentum shift back in the direction of the overall trend. So this shifted overall trends right here. And then all we do from here is bump down to a lower time frame and we wait for the retest. So like Nick said on AU, we're waiting for the pullback, right here, and I'll drop this analysis. This is what we're waiting for, pullback into support right there. This would be a perfect buy because we're in the direction of the trends. We have the higher time frame trend on our side, and we're going to enter on a higher low. 30-minute lines up with the 4-hour, with the daily, with everything. So multiple confirmations on this one. Even have our fibs on the higher time frame too. So this is NU. I'm going to drop this analysis for the members inside of the group after the call. Let's do USEF now. This thing is just continuing with this downward movement with USD just plummeting. So all the way up on the weekly time frame. So we're starting to push lower. As you can see, as we look left, we had this previous level where it fell, retested that level. So this, I'm just going to mark this just real quick. I'm going to put it on like the average of all these candles. So this price never is broken. So this is just very hypothetical level here. Let's see where that comes to. All right, so that level is all the way down here. So that's a level of support that we could potentially come into. As you can see now, we're just kind of in no man's land on this higher time frame. We're below this monthly support. We're above this, we're below this monthly resistance. We're above this monthly support. As I come down to the daily, bearish all the way. And we were going over this, if you run the live sessions last week, this thing, we were saying daily, short in this. We were taking shorts on USEP all last week inside of the group. this was, very simple structure. We had lower highs forming multiple times, down to the 4-hour. We had this push, pulled back. This is just continued to maintain a downtrend on the 1-hour, and all entry opportunities here, 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 and this is all the way on the 4-hour. So we could have even gotten better ones on the lower time frame. Now, at the moment, what do we do with this pair right now? On the 1-hour, we're forming structures. We had this low, lower high, low, pulled back, lower high, low, pulled back, lower high. So this is our most recent level on USEF on the 1-hour. I'll label this 1-hour. Ooh, forgot to turn on the heat in here. It's getting freaking chilly. God damn. So this is the 1-hour level. And basically, guys, the 4-hour, the daily, the weekly is so overextended. So if we want to take a lower time frame trade right now, it's more risky, to be honest. Because like Nick said, we like to swing trade based on the 4-hour and the daily. So a 1-hour just trade right now, considering how overextended we are, is certainly very risky. I would recommend to lower the risk. But as long as we maintain this 1-hour trend, we should get into another short on USEF. So if this thing pops up like it's doing now, it's popping up here, it popped up above the moving average. Then we have this price action right there. This is what I would have entered on. This, throw stops either above here if you're being really conservative, or above here if you're being aggressive right there. We could have put stops. Let's measure it out. Oh shit, wrong button. Right here, 25 pips would have been up about 25 pips. So you would have entered in a decent trade right there and continue to ride this out. At the moment, we can't enter right now. We need to wait for the pullback. So we'll wait for something as long as it maintains this 1-hour and shows us our entry, like what our entry is. This is our typical entry right here, bearish variations through the moving averages. Then we'll short USEF. So you got to continue to keep an eye on that one. I'll drop that one in the premium as well. Let's look at GU next. So this thing's obviously pushing higher at the moment. Let's bump up to the monthly time frame. So monthly time frame on GU, retesting this weekly resistance level. As you can see now, we're really like breaking this level at the moment. We'll see. This is all in the monthly, so we'll see if it closes like this. We have a lot of time left in the month, but we could see here we had rejection of this level 3 times, bearish engulfing. Then we had this doji, and then we had this morning star. So this is a bullish variation, moving averages are across. So a lot of bulls stepped in down to the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame overall, very bearish. This level again, resistance. And then all of a sudden, what happened here? We're just breaking above. We're just we're shooting up now. We're shooting up. This thing's heading higher and higher. I was looking at this last week. We had this wick. This showed me that there was a lot of buyers exhaustion in here. So going into this week, I was expecting there to be some sort of reversal. Early in the week, it did dip down and then found buys again at this level. So we're above this weekly level now, which is important. Down to the daily time frame. All right, so this is where it really tells the whole story for me. Right now on the daily, we had this supply zone. So this is like the last level of resistance where sellers came in, pushed this thing down previously. Look where we're at now. We're testing this zone. We're yet to break this. So we came up, rejected, came back in, rejected, came up, large wick, came down. Now we're doing the same thing. We're popping back up. If anything, I'm looking for this thing to reverse again. If it closes above here, then I'll look for buys. I'm not buying yet. Personally, I'm not buying yet, even on the 1-hour. You might say, oh, we just broke resistance right here. So it's a good area to buy at. But no, I'm not gonna buy quite yet. I'm gonna wait on this for the daily to close, nice daily closure, and then we'll wait for the retest. So GU is down on my list right now. Last but not least, let's look at UCAD. So let's bump up to the weekly time frame on UCAD. So very similar to USEF, guys. UCAD is just bearish all the way. We are in no man's land. You know, we last week closed no wick at the bottom, so it's like clearly a lot of sellers. Daily time frame, I was looking for a pullback, so very similar to yeah, to the other USAP. Like we're just overextended. We're not at a lower high on the 4 hour or the daily. The lower highs were here. This was the lower high. This was like where we were selling. This is where we were selling up in these areas. And then even right here, at this point, we're just very overextended. But this could certainly happen again. This right here, we could see that happen again right there. So let's go down to the 1 hour. This is where structure is showing for us. Very similar to this area. We had like some consolidation and then we just continued lower and lower. So the 1 hour is really where the trend is. I'm going to just throw this on right here. Boom. Can you still hear me? My connection is a little fucked up.
It got choppy, but
Let's see. All right,
we got to run a cable.
So on this 1 hour time frame, we need this level to hold. So as you see here, we actually just formed a lower high. Like this would have been a nice entry right there. This would have been a great entry. What time was this? Last night? Last night we could have got in on a good trade right there. Would have been up almost 1-to-1. You know, at the moment we're just all the way at this low. If we enter right now, we have to throw our stop loss. This thing is so annoying. All the way up here, which is about 50 pips away. That's not, you know, considering what we're trying to do, this is just a lower time frame. Like this is just intraday, like me and Nick swing trade, but at the same time, this is an intraday move like that we're looking at right now. We're down in the 1 hour. This is something that we look to play out over the course of today. And we already moved, you know, at this point, I'm gonna just take this off. I would enter on anything that confirms below this level. So I just mark this 1 hour level right here. Anything that confirms below this level, guys, enter. Same as this. Same as this. Pulled up. This was ultimately the best entry right there when the moving averages crossed and it had momentum. Same thing here. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're looking to enter on UCAD. So I'm going to move this one up. Boom, right here. So I went over EU, NU, UCAD, USEF, and GU. Nick went over a bunch of other pairs: DXY, AU, AJ, UJ, EJ, CAD, JPY, and gold. So that's all the pairs that we're going to cover for today. I'm going to drop in the premium analysis channel the lower time frame, what I just went over, all the lower time frame entries, and Nick already dropped his. So we're going to drop analysis in here for today. And we'll keep up on that. And this is for the members. So if you guys want to get in on the membership inside the actual course, the premium analysis is included with signals, with the trade copier, with the full membership. You know, if you want to look over the course, to look over what's inside everything, just come into the start here section, guys. You can look at the course, what's included in there. Right now, there's no discount. It's full price. I know we run the discount every now and then, but it's full price. The main thing that we're focusing on at the moment is the trade copier. So we are doing account management services now. It's new, you know, for us. So we are doing the account management services. It all is connected to an effects book, which you guys have access to, the link. We'll share that with you guys. And things are running really well right now. So we're excited to get this out to you guys. You know, the goal for us is to just provide the best services possible, you know, whether it's the course or the live sessions or the trade copier or the signals. This is our main focus at the moment, and it is on sale still. So we're still running the sale for it because it's new. So it's $75 a month, and then we do like a 90-10 profit split with you guys. So you guys keep 90% of it. So account management services coming up. You know, if you guys are interested, I know a bunch of you already reached out. Just shoot me a message, and we'll get you guys started. This is it for our training session. So this will be on YouTube afterwards. I'll upload this in a little bit. If you didn't enter the giveaway yet, just put your name in the chat, and I'll pick a random winner after this. $25. You know, you guys get $25 for lunch, or you throw in your trading account, freaking turn into $1 million or something. No, but but yeah, we'll be back for another live trading session on Sunday. So Sunday we'll drop all of our analysis like we did for this week, we dropped all of our analysis in here at the beginning of the week. You guys can come back and review that if you'd like to. Let's throw some emojis on here. You could review that if you'd like to. And every day we're posting our watch list. So stay updated. You know, we appreciate your support. We appreciate you guys coming on and watching the session, buying the Lambo. Soon giveaway.
Right. Maybe one day we'll do giveaways with those big items.
Hell yeah. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, rest of your night, wherever the hell you guys are at. And you know, thanks again for all the support.
Yeah, guys. Have a good one. Peace.
Peace.